Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. When the Special Crimes Unit solved 32 car burglaries in the city of Sulphur Springs in June of this year, they contacted Child Protective Services to begin an investigation that ended Wednesday with the arrest of Megan Delane Strawn, age 21, of Sulphur Springs. She was arrested on a warrant for injury to a child with intent bodily injury, a felony 3. At the time of the burglary, Strawn was pregnant as she burglarized the vehicles walking along the streets of the city looking for unlocked autos. However, Special Crimes Unit was also concerned that she was using illegal drugs. They contacted Child Protective Services, who tested the child when it was born. It proved positive for narcotics. The child was taken into CPS custody. Strawn was also tested and proved positive. Strawn is in Hopkins County Jail awaiting a magistrate's hearing. She was charged on August 1st of this year with injury to a child, along with 5 charges for burglary of a vehicle. Christopher Wayne Paris, age 36, of Nash, Texas, was stopped at the 127-mile marker on Interstate 30 near Loop 301 Thursday night. He was found to be in possession of a quantity of methamphetamines. Paris is charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, over 1 gram but under 4 grams. He's in Hopkins County Jail on a $25,000 bond.
A new medical clinic is coming to Sulphur Springs, Pain Management Clinic on Medical Drive inside First Surgery Suites. And we met Dr. Howard Greg Diamond, who is a pain management and wellness physician with offices also in Sherman and in Paris.
I've been doing pain management for the last 18 years, and I've had an office in Paris, Texas for about 7.5 years, and in Sherman, Texas for about 15 years, and we're opening today a clinic here in Sulphur Springs.
Okay, so you decided on Sulphur Springs probably through some type of study of our area, maybe. How did you select us?
Actually, I've wanted to have an office in Sulphur Springs for quite a while because of my office in Paris. We had a fair number of patients from this area coming to the Paris office from time to time, and actually had a lake house out here in Sulphur Springs and was familiar with the area. And then an opportunity arose where space and another physician that was doing pain was no longer going to be coming, so we decided to come on in and fill the void.
Okay, well, tell us where the clinic is located.
We are at the First Surgical Suite, which is the standalone surgery center here in town, and our office is inside the surgery suite building.
And it is out beyond, let's say, the back of the hospital.
That's correct, yes. It's just beyond the back of the hospital.
Well, you have had sort of a slogan, a title for your type of services called Diamondback Pain Management?
Yes, it's kind of a play on my name, my last name being Diamond. And so we have the logo of the rattlesnake, the Diamondback, and our slogan is, we take a bite out of pain.
What types of pain?
We handle all types of pain, but the majority of most patients are going to be neck, back pain, arthritis type pain in the knees and hands and wrists. We do cancer pain as well and headache pain. So we cover pretty much everything, and we use medications to manage pain. We use injections in different parts of the body to help control pain using steroids to reduce inflammation, or trigger point injections, which are tight muscles that have spasms, and we can inject the muscles to help break up pain. We also are going to be starting a new technique called Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT. It's a form of tapping where patients are taught how to use non-medical forms of treatment. And there's a book out, it's available on Amazon. It's called Tapping Your Pain Away by Nick Ortner. I'm not personally acquainted with Nick, but I know a lot of people that have worked with him, and we have found this to be a very effective technique. Harvard Medical School recently did a study on tapping, or EFT, and found that it was as good or better than traditional psychological cognitive behavioral therapy for post-traumatic stress disorder. And so because it's hard to get coverage or even a person to see for psychology and psychiatry for long terms, we decided to find an alternative that would also be effective in helping people cope with and manage their pain by not just having to take pills.
Fascinating. And so it's called a tap technique?
Yes, tapping or tapping your pain away, or EFT for short.
Okay. Well, if that interests you, someone out there listening, then find out more at Pain Management Clinic. And today is the very first day. I suppose you have maybe a ribbon cutting or an opening of some sort, and then down to business?
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing yet. This may not be our official grand opening, but we're definitely seeing patients here today, and it will be here every week, and hopefully add 3, 4, 5 days a week as we get busier.
Okay.
Just excited to be in the area and to be able to offer the things we do. We're a little unique when it comes to pain management because we are able to use electronic medical records, and we have the ability to prescribe everything on the computer, so it goes directly to your pharmacy, and that's unique for the scheduled medicines or painkillers. A lot of practices aren't able to do that, and that gives us the ability to make last-minute changes, or if something's not working, I don't have to physically come and hand someone a prescription. I can just handle it over the computer. And we also do telemedicine, which is a form of interacting over video screens on a computer or television. So in instances where I can't physically be here, I'll have my staff here. I can certainly have a face-to-face with somebody.
That is very fascinating to even observe, even if you're not the patient. You see how this is done. The doctor's on the screen, and he's talking directly to his staff nurse or whoever is there with the patient to, find out the areas of pain or what is wrong with the patient.
Exactly.
They can communicate.
We can do a physical exam. I can ask the patient to stand up, move different directions, have my assistant do their reflexes, and also relay any kind of history, and then we can do the management of the medications or schedule the procedures or order the other aspects of care.
Okay, so another wonderful use of the most modern technology. I want to ask you about if patients come to you, and I know you have your other practices and are just coming to Sulphur Springs today, do they come to you directly after an injury, let's say, or something that's developed with age, or do they come to you maybe after they've been to other doctors as another resort?
Actually, all the above. When I first started, my specialty is physical medicine and rehabilitation, so I'm trained as a non-surgical orthopedic doctor, meaning a musculoskeletal doctor. So I've treated for years people with acute back sprains and injuries. We treat carpal tunnel and things of that nature. But then as I've practiced longer, I've really focused more on the chronic pain, and chronic pain patients typically are referred or find me on their own and asked to come in and be seen.
Okay. And do you treat patients of all ages?
We do treat patients of all ages, although usually kiddos below 15, it's kind of a case-by-case basis.
Okay. And we were talking about arthritis earlier, different ways that this affects people's body. They begin to have pain one way or another, maybe in the neck, and then they find your way to your clinic.
Yes, we were talking about some of the treatments we offer, like the facet injections. And a lot of people, they get the pain in the neck, and they hear the cracking and popping as they twist their neck from side to side and have a lot of pain. A lot of that can represent what we call facet arthritis. And there are several things we can do for that. Aside from medication, there's injections into the joint, just like we would inject a knee joint with cortisone to make it better. And if that works, then we will do that. And if that doesn't work, there's some techniques where we could actually burn the little nerves that go to that joint, and it's called rhizotomies, and we can do that treatment as well.
Okay. And what is the term facet?
Facet is just a joint in the back. It goes actually all the way from the top of your spine to the bottom. At each level, the bones have 3 points of contact. There's the one vertebral body, and then there's a disc kind of sandwiched in between, like an Oreo, and then another vertebral body. But behind that, there's a facet on the right and left that contacts above and below each joint. So they're part of the joints in the back, and they're the ones that tend to get arthritis most predominantly as we get older. Our spines tend to have drying out of the discs, and so when that happens, the bones move closer together, and the facet joints end up taking more of the load, and that causes them to start producing arthritis and deterioration.
I'll ask you a question. Can maybe just keeping one's joints, all your joints moving, like on a regular basis, prevent some of these problems?
Being mobile and being physically active is always one of the best things for a lot of reasons. One, it keeps the blood flow into the area, which keeps the oxygenation going well, and also keeps us from getting stiff. I don't know that I could say we could prevent arthritis, but we can probably prevent the stiffness and some of the limitations of arthritis by being more physically active.
Okay, that's wonderful to know. As we're gaining, all of us gaining information as we age and go through, each one of us, our own journey. I want to ask you a little bit about your background and just briefly how you came to be a doctor, and what sort of doctor are you?
I'm a physical medicine rehabilitation physician. They call us physiatrists, but I don't use that term very often because I didn't know what it was until I got to medical school, so I'm assuming most people have never heard that term. So I'm the physical medicine or non-surgical orthopedic medicine doctor.
Okay.
I trained in Galveston in medical school after finishing going to the University of Texas in Austin. And after 4 years in Galveston, I did an internship in general surgery at Tulane in New Orleans before all the horrible hurricanes, and trained at Charity Hospital, slept in a bed that had been slept in for 80 years up in the residence tower. And then came to Dallas and did a 3-year residency at Baylor in Dallas in physical medicine and rehabilitation. And I learned about, we did two things. We did hospital management of people with strokes and spinal cord injuries, and then we did the office management of musculoskeletal problems and injuries. And we also do the testing for nerve injuries called EMG and nerve conduction to determine when someone maybe has carpal tunnel or a pinched nerve in their neck or back.
Okay. Well, I'm going to welcome once again Dr. Howard Greg Diamond to town. He and his staff at Pain Management Clinic in Sulphur Springs, just opening today. And we have a phone number here that is most likely your Paris office that was previously written here, so I'll give it to you, 903-785-7246 or PAIN, all those last four digits.
Yes, thank you.
Deborah Baucom with Hearts of Life presents this week's Dog of the Week.
All right, Princess is, she's full grown, but she's very young. She's, maybe 2 years old. She and 3 pups were dumped at a dead-end road in an elderly lady's yard, and she was going to try to keep them and take care of them, but she was afraid that they would trip her, and then she'd wind up falling and breaking a hip, and nobody'd ever know. So 2 of the puppies got homes, and so we have Princess and her remaining pup, and her remaining pup is Penelope. And Penelope will be visiting us unless we get her adopted. But she's just a sweet dog. She smiles at you when you walk up to her, so that a lot of people would think she's snarling or something, but she's not. She just smiles. And believe it or not, when she gets in the car, she just hops right in, lays right down, does not move. Perfect rider. So, I'm thinking, like truck drivers need friends, and
Right.
she might be good for something like that, and she's pretty excited right now because she just doesn't know where she is. But she's just a friendly dog, just loves people, loves kids, loves everything. So, and she's already been spayed, so she's just perfectly ready to go. And so Anyhow,
Now, let's talk about the fundamentals again.
Right.
The cost of adoption.
Okay, the cost of adoption is $90, and that covers her spaying and her rabies shot. And of course, she's been wormed, and she's had a booster distemper, parvo distemper. So it covers all of her vaccinations, her spaying, and then once, if we were to adopt her and get her $90, then that enables us to be able to spay or neuter another dog. And if anybody has animals and has gone to the vet, that's a real deal, because it's a lot more expensive to have one neutered and spayed, which they need to be, so that we don't have this kind of issue here where somebody just dumped her with pups. So
now you've missed a lot of this summer with us because of the heat.
The heat has been just horrible, and most of our dogs are larger dogs that don't ride in the car, so transporting them in the back of a pickup truck in 100-degree temperature is not all that great. But hopefully, now that we're going to start cooling off a little bit, I'll be back on our regular schedule, and we're going to be in Mount Pleasant on the 24th. They're having a grand opening at their Pet Sense there, so we're going to take some dogs over there. And then the following weekend is Pet Sense's big national adoption, so we'll be at our Pet Sense for 2 days on Saturday and Sunday, so that will be October 1st and 2nd. And so we definitely need to adopt some babies. We've got 52 now, and for those, everybody, I just assume that everybody knows all about Hearts of Life, but I understand that they don't. And we are no kill, so once we get them, we have them for life if they don't get adopted. The only time we choose to euthanize is if they are sick or something and they're just not going to recuperate. But other than that, they come to us and we take care of them, and we've got runs built so that they get to go out and exercise every day. But we're all volunteer. Our only funds are just through donations, which, we're blessed with those. Our vet bill right now is huge, as just like with people, sometimes you rock along, you have nothing, and then it seems like, it's like this one and this one, and nothing major. And Hopkins County Vet is really good to us, but it's still cost. So, we're at this point just pleading, if somebody feels like they'd like to do something to help us out, we sure would love for you to stop by Hopkins County Vet and just, make I don't care how much, just a donation. Tell them it's for Hearts of Life. We are tax deductible, so, you can give a name. We keep the tax records. We send all the information, so it's tax deductible. But right now, that is our greatest need is to help with our vet bill, and of course, we always need volunteers.
Right. Right.
So 439-5019 is the number, and leave a message, and we'll get back in touch. And our pooch is sleeping now. She's ready to rest.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
Here's the way that the Wildcats stack up statistically after the first 3 football games of the season. The Wildcats are averaging 29.3 points a game and are allowing 42.3 points a game. All of that difference is due to their lopsided loss in Florida. Compared with the rest of our district, the Wildcats' offense is the district's second best, averaging 364.3 yards per game. Wildcats' defense is third best in the district, giving up 398 yards per game. In team plus minus, the Wildcats are a +5, for turnovers. The Wildcats have recovered 5 fumbles, and they have 4 pass interceptions for 9 turnovers, and they have lost 3 fumbles and have had only 1 interception for 4 turnovers. Back Cern Rogers has 263 yards rushing to lead the team. That's the second best in district. Cason Goodson is 11th best in the district with 96 yards. Ryan Humphreys has completed 44 of 80 passes. That's 55% for 562 yards with 6 touchdowns and 1 interception, and he's the district's second best passer. Receiver Simeon Taylor is the district's leading receiver with 17 catches for 290 yards and 3 touchdowns. Cartavius Pruitt is tied for 7th in district with 8 catches for 63 yards and 1 touchdown, and Calvin Eckert is tied for 10th in district with 7 catches for 53 yards. On the defensive side, the Wildcats' leaders in total tackles, including assists, are Jackson Renault with 23, Haven Tennyson with 18, DJ Abram and Daniel Marino with 17, and Easton Silman, Tyson Goodson, and Trey Dahl have 16. Sack leaders with 1 apiece are Silman, Renault, and Tennyson. Fumble recovery leaders are Terrell Turman, Austin Dodd, Damian Dugan, DJ Abram, and Jose Rodriguez with 1 apiece. DJ Abram leads the team with 2 interceptions, and he's also tied for first in the district. Dodd and Renault, tied for 4th in district, have 1 interception apiece. In punting, Angel Tavera is the district's 3rd best punter, averaging 32.67 yards a kick on 15 punts. DQ Pitts, who unfortunately is out for the season with an injury, is 5th still in the district, averaging 16 yards on 2 punt returns. Simeon Taylor is 6th in district, averaging 8 yards on 1 punt return. Taylor is also 6th in the district in kickoff returns, averaging 26.5 yards per return on 2 returns. Cason Goodson, 9th in the district, averaging 24 yards a kickoff return on 2 kick returns. In the scoring department, Taylor is tied for 7th in the district with 18 points on 3 touchdowns. Kicker Angel Tavera has 14 points. That's the 9th best in district with 11 extra point kicks and a field goal. He's the district's 2nd leading kicker in scoring. And finally, Lawrence Worth is tied for 9th in district with 12 points on 2 touchdowns.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.